What's up, everybody? We're coming down to the end of our racing season. We've probably got 1 or 2 more weekends left, so this weekend we're getting go man go ready to go back to the track. It's going to be all about setting a personal best. I'm going to try a couple of tests and prove some things out, so you want to stick around for that. There's been some debate on some of the forums about what works and what doesn't. So we're going to test a couple of things and find out for ourselves. Same track, same day. It's supposed to have pretty good weather. So we're going to get after it, start getting the car ready. So now I've got to get this and all of that in there. Wish me luck. And people make fun of the Challenger for being a big car. Personal best, personal best, personal best. We're all packed up and it's time to roll out. All right, we just put a splash of fuel in the tank. Ready to head to Beach Bend. Got in our favorites, Beach Bend Raceway.
The route is being calculated.
Calculated up. And the splash of 93 we put in the tank was just enough to give us a few gallons in the tank when we get to the track, and then we can add in our race fuel for maximum performance. Okay, so we're almost to Beach Bend. Our game plan today is just to go as fast as possible. I'm not planning to get in any grudge races. I'm going to try to remain disciplined and not get suckered into messing around too much. If I get all my testing in that I want to get done, I might grudge race with a couple of folks, but the point of today is to test. We do not ever get weather like this on a track day in Middle Tennessee, or actually I should say Middle Kentucky. We're headed to Bowling Green, Kentucky. The air temperature, according to the car, is 30 degrees. And I was actually worried, that's 30 degrees Fahrenheit. I was actually worried they weren't going to open the track today, so it was a little questionable there for just a little while. But I did check their Facebook page and they are open. So we're going to head up. The DA has got to be in the low hundreds, if not negative. So that never happens. I'm normally racing in 1500 to 2000 DA, and that's just when it's reasonably comfortable out. I've raced in much higher where it's miserable, it's hot and humid, and the biggest thing is going to be the car is going to love that cool air, so it's going to be nice for the car. I'm a little worried about traction on the track. I've never raced in this cold of air, to be honest, so I'm going to have to kind of make a little test run down the track just to see how well it's prepped. The sun is out, as you can see, so that should help. The sun will heat up the tarmac, and the glue and the VHT, the adhesive that they put on the track surface. But you still got to be careful because the air temperature being so low, it can cause some strange things to happen with moisture and other things of that nature. And obviously we want to be safe and not have any incidents. So we're going to make a easy test run to kind of check the track out, and then we're going to start getting into it and see how fast we can make this car go today. And is it just me, or does all the music on the radio almost sound exactly the same these days? I don't know about that. All right, we're pulling up to the gate, and now for the part that I dread, and that's swapping these tires over. It's kind of a workout because I always feel a little bit rushed. I'm in a hurry to get on the track, so now I got to deal with that. The nice thing about driving your car to the track, though, is at least the transmission and everything's warmed up. It's a really cool day, as I said before, so I'm just going to park where the hood is up and the engine is out of the sun and let the supercharger and everything cool down, but the fluids in the transmission and all that will still stay warm. So that's the one positive thing about driving the car to the track, but switching the tires out kind of sucks. I'm hoping that with it being so cool out, the track won't be very crowded. You'll either have diehards like me that want to get out and take advantage of the good air, or it'll scare a bunch of people off and they won't come out because it's so cool, and we'll be able to get a bunch of runs in. So we'll see. We're almost there. Let's see what the pits look like. Morning, sir.
You running the car?
I am. Try to make it easy on you.
we'll back up and do another burnout when they get ready. I hate that, man, because you get all ready, go through your process. Yeah. Delay. We'll see how we did. We sat in the staging lanes a long time and then had to back up because they thought somebody blew the car up. So we might have still got a good run out of it. Thank you. All right, so we did a 1061 at 130.94, and that's about what I would have expected. We sat in those staging lanes. I guarantee you my data log is going to show quite a bit more heat, but that 109 race gas makes a big difference. When I've raced this car in the heat, I've seen about a 1/10 to 2/10 difference on 109 race gas versus 93 octane. So now we're going to get down to business. We're going to cool the car off and make a good pass.
I love this burn box cool down feature. Love it. See if any of these cars are fast. Oh my. Cop car kind of surprised me. Wow. Yeah. That was a surprise.
It's like down in the back.
Oh, sorry.
It's right here. And so,
Oh, okay.
it's like the EFI source one. It's not the actual thing.
We're here with the Crown Victoria, right?
Yeah.
Crown Victoria owner. What's your name?
Cameron.
Cameron. Thanks a lot, man. So you ran a 920.
I think it's 925 at 149.
149 miles an hour. So tell us about the car.
It's a 6-liter out of a furniture moving truck, my buddy.
Furniture moving truck.
That we did. Yeah, it's like a 218, 561. It's kind of small for the setup. It was actually made for the twins.
Okay.
It used to be twins, but now it's a billet 80 millimeter. I've got Chinese head studs, some Brian Tooley springs, trunnion upgrade, and a new body style intake. It's on Holly Dominator.
So it looks like the manifolds are just flipped around. Is it really that simple?
Yeah. I mean, I've had the car since 2011. We've been doing the LS stuff since like 2012. It's got a 4L80 in it that I built. That's what I I do. I build transmissions, and Jake's Performance did the converter, and it's got a Jake's Performance trans brake. It's got the factory 8.8 housing with some 35 spline strange axles and a spool. It's got all Viking shocks and coilovers. They sponsor me.
Nice.
And Poly Dominators makes it much easier. Around 28 pounds boost.
Wow.
Yeah.
Built motor, obviously, there.
No, it's a stock bottom.
Stock bottom,
Yeah, it's a stock bottom.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, the engine's been in the car for 2 years. We've just slowly crept up on it. As far as I know, it's the fastest Crown Vic in the world.
Well, that's cool, man. I mean, it sure surprised me when I saw it go down the track. I appreciate you telling us about it.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Thanks a lot. Look at this thing. Pull up and check out the tower, see if buddies are up there.
Always a hassle.
Well, the magic happens.
Always say, Speedy.
What's going on, buddy? All right, we've had a pretty good time out here today. You just saw we ran a 10.53, a 10.61, made a couple more 10.50 passes. It's the usual suspects. We got Chad and Chris. They're both in their 6-speed Hellcats. I'm missing my crew chief today, Greg. He had to work, so he's not here with us. Miss you, Greg. We'll see you next time. And per tradition, we're back at Smoky Bones.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. What's up? What's up, man? Back at the shop, had another great day of racing at Beach Bend Raceway. I love that track. It's my home track, as you guys have heard me say before. We're gonna get Go Man Go here unloaded and get ready for our next outing. Today's goal was to set a personal best. I knew the weather was gonna be probably better than I've ever seen in this part of the country, and it was. The weather was phenomenal. The other goal was for me to try to document that race gas in a stock Hellcat, stock tune, everything, would be beneficial. There's been some debate about that on some of the forums lately. Some people think that the race gas actually slows the car down. My experience has shown that you actually gain a tenth or two just putting race gas in the tank. And by race gas, I'm talking about 109 octane unleaded, which is what I use, race fuel. My data logs were showing 3 degrees, maybe 4 degrees of short-term knock retard on 93 octane, keeping in mind the Hellcat is tuned to run on 91 from the factory. So they've got that tuned pretty aggressive from the factory, and they're just letting the knock sensors pull timing out when it detects a knock event. If you can get rid of that, you'll pick up power. Each degree of timing is worth power. I've heard, and I don't have anything to prove this, but I've heard it's about 11 horsepower per degree of timing, so you want to keep as much of that as you can. So we went up to make our first run, as you saw, 93 octane, stock tuned Hellcat, and it did run better than I've ever run on 93 octane, and that was due to the weather being so good. It ran a 1053 at 131.36. I'm gonna show you the time slip so you can see here. There you go. The DA was minus 1500. I have never had that kind of weather ever to race in. I think Atco is about the only place I hear of weather like that. But there's the time slip. 93 octane, bone stock Hellcat with tires and wheels and a drive shaft. Now my goal was to drop 109 in the tank and make no other changes. So that's what I did. I wanted to pull up and then make another run. I was expecting to run a tenth faster because that's normally what I see, and about 1.5, maybe 2 miles an hour faster. A truck or something had an issue at the end of the track. So I had already done my burnout and was at the staging lane ready to come and light the bulbs. And the guy, the starter, backed me up. He said, shut down your car and back up. We got to check the track. So I sat there for a minute. They went and checked the track. Ended up not being an issue. So I had to back up and do a burnout again because my tires had cooled off some. But that meant the car sat there and heated up. The second burnout got it kind of hot, and so it skewed my results. So I'm going to show you the time slip from the 109. Here you go. DA was still about the same, minus 1400. I had taken the slicks up to 19 psi, and there's the time slip. So it ran a 1061 at 130.94. So pretty much exactly the same. It was a little bit like what 700 slower on the ET, but that was due to the sitting in that staging lane having to do those 2 burnouts. And like I said, I was hoping to make that all part of this one piece of content so you guys could see it. However, I keep all of my time slips. It's just a thing. I have them all put away. So I went back and I pulled out time slips where I had tested 93 against 109 when I first got the car.
at a track down in Alabama, and you've probably seen that video if you've been watching my content for a while. It was Steele, Alabama. We took the Hellcat down there. It was our real first track outing with the car. I ran it once on 93 with the slicks. I dumped 109 in the tank, made no other changes whatsoever, and here are the time slips. So these are the slicks. The DA was pretty good. It was 106, 93 octane, slicks on 19 PSI. I ran a 10.663 at 129.94. There you go. All I did was dump 109 octane in the tank, and you can see it here, 109. The DA was 176, so still very good. It was the same time of year last year's November. Here's the time slip on 109 octane. A 1051, best that car has ever run, 131.36. Again, went from a 10.663 to a 10.518. And just to prove it, I backed it up. I ran another run, back to back. Again, 109 octane, DA was negative 49. There you go, a 1052 at 129. So 109 octane or high octane race gas definitely helps a stock Hellcat. The other thing I'll take a minute to mention is a lot of people want to see some kind of number on a stock tire and all that kind of stuff. That's never going to work out. It's dangerous. You've heard me say that before. If you're planning to go to the drag strip and you want to have a good time, use a proper tire at the drag strip. You definitely want at least a drag radial. You don't want to be running around on the stock tires that you're going to be spinning and having, you know, over 2 seconds, 60 foots, and it's going to be dangerous. You could hit the wall or something like that, so I don't recommend it. I saw a bunch of people this weekend at the track on stock tires, and they were all frustrated. I go to the track and I'm setting a personal best or matching my personal best every time I go almost, and it's much more gratifying to go and have a good time and know that your car is performing to the maximum it can perform. You want to use a good tire and wheel as an equalizer. That way you can actually tell what the car is doing. If it goes faster or it slows down, you'll know there's something in there you need to look at, and it's not just tire spin. So we use we've been using our Hoosier slicks for quite a while. They are just about worn out, as you can see by the little tread bars there. Try to get the focus. They are just about wore out. I want to compete in some street classes, so I'm going to replace these with the Mickey Thompson ET Street R's. That's what the tire I'm going to swap out to over the winter. I'll probably do one more track day with these before the season ends, and that's it. But you can see they're in pretty bad shape. They're actually starting to roll up there. But I am shocked at how long those tires have lasted. I mean, talk about bang for the buck. I probably have, I don't even know how many hundreds of passes on those tires. I ran these same tires on Orange Crush, the old 6-speed car, and that car needed a slick. The way the 6-speed launches and everything, that shock load, the wrinkle of the tire would take some of that shock load from the drive line and allow you to launch a little bit easier. With me now having an automatic, that's why I'm going to go to that drag radial with the Mickey Thompson ET Street R. With an automatic, you don't need that wrinkle. You actually don't want it because you're losing a little bit of 60 foot. On a 6-speed, I think you do. Now, the downside is, actually I take that back, there really isn't a downside now because Mickey Thompson makes a ET Street R bias, which will have a softer sidewall and allow that flex. You would be able to use that tire in a street racing event, or a street class event where you have to have a DOT tire. So keep that in mind if you got a 6-speed versus an automatic. And to further make the point about tires, this was a run in Orange Crush, the old 6-speed RT, and I had M&H drag radials on here, and you'll see I ran an 11.5 at about 125. I then lowered the pulley. I put a smaller pulley on to make a little bit more boost, and I dropped to a 12.1 at 124. And that's because the 60 foot went away. You see it's a 2.1. Anything over about a 1.8 60 foot is not that great. So I was frustrated. Same day, you'll notice this was, let's see, April 14th, 2012, so a long time ago. But this taught me a lesson about tires. I borrowed a guy's slicks. April 14th, 2012, you see it's only about 45 minutes later. 1:50 p.m., 2:44 p.m. Remember, I ran a 12.1, 124. I put his slicks on, 11.2 at 126. So dropped almost a second of ET. That is substantial, obviously. That's a huge change for just a tire change, and that taught me a very valuable lesson. And after running that 11.2 on those borrowed slicks, I pulled back around, made another pass. About 30 minutes later, ran 11.1. So not only was the car faster, it was now consistent. And that was what made me a believer in a tire and wheel setup. Now, talking about time slips, look at that stack of time slips. I got time slips everywhere. There, stack over there from the Hellcat, some more over here. All of those, well, from here over. So from here, part of this, all of these, they were all run on those slicks. So hundreds of passes, and I can't believe how long they lasted. And reminiscing a little bit about Orange Crush, I do miss that car. This is the kind of the baby book I kept of all the modifications and everything we made to it. And I found this in this book. This was the time slip that made me decide to get the Hellcat. So you'll see I was racing a Hellcat Charger in the left lane. This was at Challenger Fest one year. I'm in the right. Pretty good pass for me in the 6-speed. And you'll see there, 11.091 versus a 10.952. When I saw that, and the big thing for me was we were driving down the track and I'm looking through his passenger window because we were side by side, and he was just driving. He's a friend of mine, just driving down the street like he was going to the grocery store, and all hell was breaking loose in my car because I'm trying to shift gears and not miss anything. After that, I decided I was buying a Hellcat. And that pass against the Hellcat Charger was the last run I ever made in Orange Crush. That's it for today. I really enjoyed going to the track. It's a whole ton of fun. But swapping tires and your adrenaline going up and down when you make all those passes, and then the drive up there and the drive back, it makes for a pretty long day, and I'm worn out. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you did. Check us out on Instagram. It's at Speedys_garage, as well as our website, www.speedysgarage.net. Don't forget to hit subscribe. I did say I was tired, and I will be seeing you out there.